Hey, good evening, people. Good evening. And y'all tuned in to this edition of Homage Speaks. Sorry, I've been away, man. I just getting a lot of footage in, watching a lot of film, trying to break down and analyze some of the things so I can give you one of the best takes that you're gonna hear. But we're gonna jump right into it. I don't know if y'all noticed, but have y'all seen the movie Breaking? And my main man Boogaloo Shrimp out there in front of the bodega, and he got that broom and he dancing. That's what LeBron doing right now to Paul George. He dancing. Paul George, I know your last name George, so you supposed to be George of the jungle. But my man, you didn't watch out for that tree, and that tree was LeBron James. Did y'all know that LeBron James has been a part of 10 teams, 10 sweep teams, 21 straight first round games won? But this series set an NBA record in total points allowed in the wins. They won a total, they won 4 games by a total of 16 points. 16 points. So that means, in my opinion, that the games were relatively close. Few of those games, Indiana actually should have pulled out. And you know how they would have pulled them out? Paul George had an opportunity to go from star to superstar. The ball was in your hands. Game one, you challenged your teammates. You asked them to give you the ball. And yet again, you failed them again. You have to deliver. I listened to your post game after game 4, and they was asking you some questions. You said it's completely frustrating to lose to LeBron James. Hey, well, I understand. LeBron James do it to a lot of people. But at some point in life, people got to realize in order to beat LeBron, you got to not like him. He's a very good guy. He's a likable person. But don't get it confused on that court. He out there to destroy you. So if you don't go out there with the mindset that I'm finna bang him, I'm finna beat him, we'll be friends in the offseason, then you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. Very, 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 very rude awakening. He was asked about free agency. He's talking about he don't want to talk about it. Well, look, the only thing that's gonna be good for the Indiana Pacers free agents is to free you, free Willie, free George. Get George up out of there so you can rebuild. Shout out to Lance Stevenson. Hey man, if y'all didn't get a chance to see what basketball is really about in its purest form, it was embodied this series by Lance Stevenson. I mean, he played as hard as he could. He played with attitude, typical New York style guard, but typical basketball player. He was out there playing not to lose. And for the Pacers to blow a 25-point lead, everybody's hyping it up because Cleveland came back. What y'all need to understand that Cleveland should have been down 25 in the first place. But some people are going to look at it like that. It's like, D-Burst, what you talking about? Well, let me go a little deeper. Cleveland won all their games, giving up over 100 points. They still have problems defensively. Indiana exposed some of that, but they wasn't able to close the games down late. When they get into situations playing Toronto or Boston or the Warriors or the Spurs, those late game situations are going to come back on them. They got to execute better in late game situations. They still not playing no D. They gave up 100 points every game. I mean, they still not playing no D. They got to D up. They got to play better D than that. Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith. Well, J.R. Smith, you had a good game 4. You held Paul George, the 5-21 shooter. You was on him, and you was in him. But for the most part, y'all got to tighten up. Y'all have to tighten up. Paul George, it's time for you to come to the congregation. I really disappointed in what you did. I was looking forward to you becoming the man and going from star to superstar status. You challenge your teammates. You challenge your teammates, and to their defense, they became better players. Jeff Teague stepped up. Miles Turner finally came along in game 4. That team played well enough for you to keep you in the game, and you got the ball late down the stretch, and you turned the ball over twice. Then you got a chance to get back in the game. I mean, you could have saved it all. when you pump fake and you had that look, I said, oh man, he got to make it for his legacy. No, sir, bro. You can't even buy that. You can't even buy that dream or sell that dream at Legacy Ford the way you shooting that bro shit at the end of the game. I'm just saying. I need you to tighten up. You work too hard to come back from injury. You done developed your game. I see what you're doing. But don't allow yourself to be viewed as a player that's a piece of the puzzle and not somebody that you can build around, because that's what you just did. Now we got to talk about the Hawks versus the Wizards. Woo, have y'all seen this series? It's starting to get real playoff basketball like. You got role players talking to all-stars. Dennis Schroeder is trying to be on the same level as John Wall, and Markieff Morris is trying to be on the same level as Paul Millsap. And I love it. Shout out to the Hawks. Y'all played very good in game 2. There was too much John Wall down the stretch, and in game 3, y'all came out with a lot of energy, and y'all built that lead early and just maintained it. But it's still a pause for concern because you still didn't contain John Wall. Now, I will say that picking him up full court allowed them not to get into their sets as smoothly, but I really think the Wizards just missed shots. I don't think we locked them up. But to the Hawks credit, they have been held to 40% shooting in game 1, 43% shooting in game 2, and they shot almost 50% at 49.5% in game 3. That's good. That's very good. Role players stepped up. But Paul Millsap, thank you for not being tree sap. Thank you for being the player that you are. When you're playing against people who are not on the same level than you, you cannot give them confidence. Markieff Morris is a good player. Good player. I like him and his brother. They're good players. But at the end of the day, they're not Paul Millsap. They ain't put in his work like you did. But you got to show them. Because if you don't show them, they're not going to get that humble pie that you're looking for. What they're going to do is they're going to continue to get their rocks off. What they're going to do is they're going to continue to get their rocks off, and they're going to come at you. And you cannot allow them people to come at you. Dennis Schroeder, proud of you, my man. You played good. You played with heart. You played with aggression. You played with aggression, and you look good. But John Wall still dominated that matchup. But you was able to offset it. And with you being able to offset that position, it'll keep y'all in a lot of games. But Bradley Beal, you got to be the real deal. All right? I'm going to need you to talk to Holyfield, who is the real deal in Atlanta, till he sold his house to Rick Ross. Shout out to my boy Rick Ross. But you need to make sure that you're taking care of Hardaway Jr. because that's the only way y'all going to stay in the game. Y'all only beat the Hawks the first 2 games because y'all 2 guys did what they were supposed to do. Dwight Howard, great job of letting that backup know that he was your backup. I didn't even know he was out there. I saw him running up and down the court a few times, but I ain't hear his name called over the loudspeaker. It was a great job by you, Dwight, and we appreciate that. But John Wall, continue to play at that high level, man. You're starting to get the respect that my main man, Marvin Avery, he been trying to give it to you for a long time. But I didn't believe in it, but continue to make me a believer. Because if you lose to the Hawks, it's just like Isaiah Thomas to me. You're a good player, respect the player in this game, but the big dogs don't lose playoff series to the Hawks. They just don't do it. Been a Hawk fan my whole life. That just don't happen. Hawks don't beat the big dogs. Talk that to LeBron, talk that to MJ. They just not losing to us. And we got to do a better job of getting people in the office that's going to pick these players and get these players here to us so we can beat the big dogs when we do have solid teams. Only thing we missing is a superstar. We're missing a superstar player that when the game tight can take over the game and get the win. But good luck to the Hawks tonight. They got a great game tonight. If you can tune in, if you can be in the arena and cheer the Hawks on because we need all the support because Washington is coming. They came here to split. They didn't come in to win both. They came here to split. I never thought they was good enough to sweep the Hawks. Really don't think they're good enough to beat us in 5. I picked 6 or 7, but they got a great opportunity to get this one because they don't want to go back to Washington 2-2 because I think we can get there. We do one roll win. That might be the one. Now we got to jump right into Houston and Oklahoma City. Man, did y'all see Russ Gard play in Game 3? I mean, that was beautiful. Game 3 and Game 4, he played the game the way he's supposed to be. the way he's supposed to play. Got his teammates involved. He was able to get off. The energy was there. I've been to Chesapeake Bay Arena. Who y'all talking about cooking with gas? When that thing get to rocking, man, it feel like Douglas County High School all over again versus Lithia Springs. Shout out to Jawan Jones, T. Rank, Flip with them lips, Ricky D, Mark Hart. Hey, man. And I got to shout out to Travis Floyd, Byron Henderson, Chris Seymour. Y'all boys, y'all gave us some entertaining games. Hey, my main man, Kurt. I see you, my boy. But back to the task at hand. In game 3, the Oklahoma City Thunder shot 55% and won by 2 points. So y'all had to know in game 4 that it was gonna be something special. James Harden, you gave it a great effort in game 3, but you missed that game winner. So everybody gonna still say you choked. All you gotta do is hit one of these shots. You want Paul George, all y'all gotta do is hit one of these shots and look at everybody and say, here I am. Because that's what we're waiting on, to give you the real credit that you deserve for your ability. But in game 4, oh man, Billy Donovan, come on, man. Shout out to Courtney Chappelle for believing in Roberson. Roberson missed all them free throws down the stretch. The Thunder went 8 for 16 in the 4th quarter, and they had the lead. They had the lead, and he was just missing. But he's giving you points, he's giving you effort. But Roberson, you got to get in there. You cannot be a forward shooting worse than DeAndre Jordan at the line. It just can't happen. How can you hit 3-pointers, but you can't hit free throws? You shoot both of them set, take your time, knock them down. We need you to do that. If you're a Thunder fan, we need you to do that. If you did that for me when my boy Kevin was out there, it'd be a different issue. But it's okay. He's moved on, so have y'all. Russell had 10 assists at halftime, had 4 more for the rest of the game. What's up with that, Russell? Continue to make the plays for your teammates to get the shots that you want down the stretch. But we had a big issue. We had Russell come to the defense of his team, saying that the reporter was trying to split him up by stating the fact, hey, man, when you come off the floor, y'all suck. And you got to understand that. You got to hold your teammates accountable. And I'm pretty sure that's what you was doing in the locker room. You just didn't want to do it publicly, which I commend you for. But at the same time, when y'all come off the floor, you and Adams come off the floor, y'all go from a plus 11 to a negative 14. I mean, it just get bad. Y'all can't get nobody. When they see all they trying to do out there, Russell, is wear you down. Now I know you're in great shape. You're energy out of bunny. You play with a lot of energy, but all they trying to do is wear you down. Because once they wear you down, oh man, they know you got to sit down. And when you sit down, woo, cook up, chow down, Longhorn. They coming. I'm trying to tell you, but them Thunder Sticks, man, they get to clapping real loud, clapping for your ass to get back in the game. But Houston played a strong road game. They got a home game coming up. We'll look to see can they close it out, because they should. They don't need to let this series linger longer than they have, because Golden State got Portland tonight, and they're going to try to close that out. Speaking of Golden State, man, it's going to behoove y'all, now that your coach is out, now that you're stuck with Mike Brown, you might want to rest Kevin Durant and make sure he's close to 100% as possible, because we see Mike Brown in action. And LeBron, everybody talking about he got the 3rd most wins if he was a head coach in the NBA. That's because he had LeBron. He wasn't making no great coaching moves or great coaching decisions. Now, he is a great defensive coach, but we good on that. He lost to Dwight Howard, and you don't lose to Dwight Howard. But that's another subject for another day. Trailblazers, you're just 1 or 2 pieces away from being a real problem. Y'all guys are solid from 1 through 3. You just got to continue to build your bench, and y'all got to get that versatile forward. That forward is the same thing the Clippers missing. If you don't have a small forward like a Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Paul George, a wing guy like DeMar DeRozan, if you don't have Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, if you don't have these type of players, you're going to be struggling, because the small forward is outside of the point guard position, the small forward is the deepest position in the NBA, and you need to have one. But we got to talk about my main man, Chris Paul. Chris Paul, we was hard on you at the beginning. If y'all check out the preview show on Fresh Perspective, we was real. Me and Courtney was real hard on Chris Paul. But Chris Paul, man, when Chris Paul show up, and I ain't talking about Cliff, I'm talking about Chris. No beard, cut that beard off. That means he ready to go. Chris Paul, when Blake Griffin went down, he said, "I'm the best player on this floor. I ain't worried about no Gordon Hayward. I ain't worried about no Joe Johnson." That night, and I'm finna score 19 in the fourth. 19 in the second half, 11 in the fourth quarter, and I'm finna show y'all that I'm that man. And I'm finna get 30, and I'm finna get over 10 assists, which is what we asked for. But you came up a little short in game 4, Chris, because the magic number is 30. You got to get 30 and 10 for y'all to win. If you don't go ahead and embrace that and accept that, y'all going to be in some real trouble, boss. Because at the end of the day, they need you to score. Jamal Crawford stepped this game up. I believe role players play good at home. Role players play better at home than they do on the road. Superstars carry you on the road. JJ Redick, Mute, they're going to hit their shots in game 5. They're going to hit their shots at home. That's just what they do. JJ Redick, you got to play better, man. You're a marksman. You're a sprayer. You gotta get to the point to where, man, I don't care what they do. When I catch this thing, wham! You got to get like that because you're looking real bad. Don't do us like that. I cannot have Duke players looking bad right now in the tournament after UNC just won it all. I need y'all to stand up. Please stand up. All right? Hey, shout out to my main man, Mo Buckets. This is a good time for you, bro. This is a time for you to show the NBA the kind of scorer and versatile player that you are. I'm looking forward to seeing you compete, and I'm looking forward to see you doing well in Game 5. I know you got your hands full dealing with Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert. Hey, man, I know you. They call you Mo Buckets. You got range on that gun. It's time to pull that trigger. The bench is going to be the deciding factor in the Game 5, simply because you got Utah bringing Joe Johnson, Ingles, Derek Favors, Chevy, man. They bringing these guys off their bench. So when they bring these guys off the bench, you turn right back around. And now the Clippers are starting to go into their rotation. And when they go in their rotation, it's off. Starters having to play longer minutes, things of that nature. It's not going to work. The Clippers, you got to come out in Game 5. You got to come out aggressive. You got to jump on them. Because I don't know if y'all realize, but y'all getting a little bit of that Joe Johnson. And the one that's woke up. And the one that be woke up, he's a professional scorer. He has no problem with getting buckets for you. He can do that all game. He got Mute on him. He got little guys on him. He get to where he want to on the floor. And people got to realize also Joe Johnson was a point guard at one point in his career. So once he get double teams, oh, man, he got that in 7 years in Atlanta. He don't pass the ball to the right people. That's how many times we told Josh Smith not to shoot. It wasn't because he wasn't wide open to shoot. It's because he can't shoot. But Josh Smith, I see you, man. I know you're doing your thing in China. Shout out to Josh Smith, man. I played against you live a couple times, and you're an amazing player. You just got to use your IQ and play the game the way it's supposed to be played for your skill set. When you get to settling for that jump shot, everybody will live with that. But when you dive into the rim and activating your playmaking and shot blocking ability, you're one of the best in the game. But you kept shooting that broke jumper, man, and team stayed away from that. Even though your style of players right now is elevated in the NBA simply because it's all these stretch fours. You perfect. Give him the right point guard, pick and roll, pick and pop, dot. Man, you would have been amazing. But hey, I can't act like you wasn't on that Clipper team last year. They played real good. No, I'm sorry, not the Clipper team, the Houston team. That Houston team when they went to the two years ago. I'm sorry, Josh. 2 years ago, that Houston team that went to the conference finals, you was on that team, and you played very well for that team. Bulls and the Celtics. I know I picked the Bulls to win this series, but they lost a lot when they lost Rajon Rondo. Not only did they lose a floor general and a leader on the floor, they lost somebody who was willing to defend Isaiah Thomas without relying on help and double teams and extra traps. He was able to stay in him and just challenge every shot that Isaiah Thomas take. But I don't know if y'all been paying attention to Isaiah Thomas' body language. He don't care nothing about none of that shit no more. He got Michael Carter Williams on him. He got Jerry Grant on him. He got old D Wade on him in situations. He said, man, y'all can't check me. He don't say that to D Wade because he respectful of the game. But the other guys, he said, y'all got bum sauce. And you know what we do to bum sauce? We cook bum sauce. And that's what he's doing. Marcus Smart is doing a good job. Him and Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley are doing a good job. They're throwing bodies at Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is just having difficulty cooking them all. You know, that's some Kobe shit. Y'all talk bad about Kobe, but boy, I used to see Kobe get multiple defenders. Mikael Petrus at one point in the game. Then they'll throw Matt Barnes at another part of the game. They'll throw Jay Rich at another point of the game. And you got to cook each one of those players a different way, or they'll throw Paul Pierce on him to start the game. You got to cook him one way. Then they'll throw Ray Allen on him one way. And then they'll throw Tony Allen on him in another way. And they'll throw James Posey on him. And this guy had to cook these guys a different way in the same game. Man, that's tough. We all play ball. It's hard going up against one guy. Man, this guy got to go up against three different, but there's levels to this shit. And that's why Kobe one of the best. But the Celtics are looking to hit their stride. They had what did they have in game 3? I'm gonna give you the numbers because I thought it was just amazing. The Bulls in game 3 had 34 assists on 41 made shots. Then they turned right back around and cook them again in game 4. I mean, look, Isaiah Thomas is hitting stride. Boston Celtics don't realize that they are 1 seed and they playing like one. Shout out to them. You also got the Raps and the Bucks. Hey, look, Toronto, y'all might want to go ahead and do what you got to do to them boys because they're hanging around and they're hanging around too close for y'all comfort. That's a young team. They got some matchup issues, but DeMar DeRozan, way to bounce back from that 0-for-8 performance you had in game 3 and take over game 4 and get that win. Y'all also played solid defense, doing a good job of locking up the young Antetokounmpo and Giannis. Y'all almost there, man. You just got to get you a jumper. Got to get you a consistent mid-range jump. Don't work on the 3. Just work on the mid-range. When you come off that pick, it's going to be space right there. You got to be able to knock that down and knock that down consistently. I'm sure Jay Kidd have told you that because when you can hit that shot, you're going to be a fear. I mean, everybody going to be scared. Everybody going to be like, who is that? Giannis? Antetokounmpo. Yeah, they're going to know how to spell it after you get through cooking them. I'm just letting you know how it's going to work. But you got to get there. And don't be down there not working on that craft. You got to get that. That's the only thing you're missing. Jay Kidd done put the ball in your hand and let you play point guard for a couple of years. So now your playmaking is up to speed. Now, you might not need to be bringing the ball up the court, but your playmaking is up to speed. You see in the floor. That is great. You're a great defender. You're a great rebounder. You score around the goal. But the next step in your game is perimeter shoot. Once you add that to your arsenal, oh, man, you're going to be a bad boy. I promise you. But with that being said, I want y'all to sit back and relax and enjoy tonight's games. We got some good ones coming. I mean, some big games. There's some deciding factors tonight. And I need y'all to just tune in. Sorry it took me so long to get back. Sorry this was a little long-winded, but I had a lot to say, and I had to get in for 2 games for all the series. Oh, got one more. Left one off. Not going to leave you off. Hey, Kawhi Leonard, shout out to you, man. Everybody been talking about you one of the top 2 players in the game. Me personally, I'm biased. I think Kevin Durant is that. But it's Kevin Durant's fault that you and other players are entering that conversation. It's all his fault, so I'm not going to discredit you. I saw you score 16 straight. You know, some Paul George should have did. Y'all needed all them points to stay in the game, and you gave it to him. Now, I wish you would have hit the game winner because then I would have had to pay homage. Oh, my God. I seen the game. You couldn't miss. I mean, you was doing it on both ends. You was checking the Mike Conley, fighting through all the picks, even though they would just set a pick on you and get LaMarcus Aldridge on him. And we know what that was. Cook season. But we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is Mike Conley Jr. out there getting his money's worth, showing that he's an elite player and showing his value. I mean, he took over those last 3 games. Now, the coach, he took one for the team by taking that $30K for the refs, even though the team helped him pay for it, which shows camaraderie. And he made a lineup change to put Zach Randolph in with the starters. Now, that worked in game 3. Zebo didn't have a strong game in game 4, but I'm going to tell you who did. Mike Conley Jr., the Achilles heel, in my opinion, is the Spurs guard play. Nobody like Patty Mills, like Ginobili, like Tony Parker. But ain't nobody worried about y'all checking them. Y'all getting good looks off the Florida game offense. Ginobili is a shell of himself. It's really time for him to retire. Ginobili is averaging his career low in points this season. Right now, he ain't scored 20 points all season. 22 times he scored between 10 and 19 points. The rest of them games, 0 to 9. I don't know what's up with Ginobili because he is 0 for 15 in this series. And in order for the Spurs to get through this series, those old heads, they got to bail them out too because they can't depend on Patty Mills. Because, I don't know, y'all got Mike Conley Jr. fucked up. You think he finna get cooked by Patty Mills. He going to work Patty Mills. He going to work TP, and he going to work Patty Mills. And then you don't want to be in a situation where Kawhi is having to be on him all the time, getting hit with pick after pick after pick. And the next thing you know, he ain't going to be able to score that bucket when you need it because we know who ain't going to score it. Last name Aldridge. And I ain't talking about David. We talking about LaMarcus. Where you at, dog? Where you at? Marcus Hall out there. And Zach Randolph said, hey, man, we old vets, man. We all came up together. We ain't worried about that guy. We ain't worried about that guy. Man, we're going to work this guy. Step your game up, LaMarcus. You got one part of my name, but I'm glad your name ain't DeMarcus because I will have to support you. But no, sir. I ain't supporting the last part. You need to tighten up. The D is what make it unique. And you got lip. So La need to bring the noise for La get another loss and get his ass up out of here in the second round and make the Spurs regret pick you up in the first place. But with that being said, this concludes the edition of Homage Speaks. Godspeed. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all soon.